So what if I told you that in the next few minutes you could turn any WordPress site into a fully smart AI chatbot, one that actually understands your niche, answers real questions, and even pulls live information from the web by itself? And no, you don't need to write a single line of code or rely on some random plugin that might vanish from the internet next month. I'm going to show you how to do it properly, using OpenAI's new Agent Builder, the same platform I covered in my previous video, but this time we're taking it into WordPress and giving it web search superpowers. Imagine your website having its own Ask the Expert booth, but powered by AI, answering anything your visitor throw at it. If you want the full deep dive version, including a step-by-step build of the workflow and a demo on a Node.js site, the link to that video is below. That one breaks everything down in much more detail. And stick around until the end of this video, because there's a little trick I'm going to show you that makes the chatbot feel a lot more personal, and you'll probably want to steal it for your own site. Alright, let's jump in! Before we bring in the chatbot, let me show you the demo site we'll be working with. It's a fake WordPress site I built locally using local WP. Just a simple pets directory called Furry Friends Finder. There are only 3 pages, the homepage with 2 big buttons, dogs and cats, and each of those pages lists posts. And every post is super minimal, just the breed name, 1 image and a short description, and that's it. The goal is to add an AI chat assistant that actually understands different dog and cat breeds, can pull live info from the web, and instantly turns this tiny site into something way more helpful than it looks. We'll be adding a floating Talk to AI button across the whole site, and I'll also show you how to put the chatbot on a single page instead, in case you don't want it popping up everywhere like an excited puppy. Alright, time to give this pet blog a brain! Alright, let's get things wired up on the OpenAI side. Head over to platform.openai.com and click Login in the top right. If you don't already have an account, no worries. It's quick, free to start, and you'll be inside in minutes. Once you're signed in, you'll land on your dashboard. We're going to create separate projects just for this WordPress chatbot. On the top left menu, click on Default Project and then hit the Create Project button at the drop-down. We'll call this one WordPress Pet Bot. Now let's build the logic behind our chatbot. Click Agent Builder in the left sidebar and then click the black Create button to start a new workflow. This drops you into a blank canvas with a start node already connected to an agent node. To finish the basic flow, just drag an end block from the node list on the left and connect it so it reads Start, Agent, End. That's our bare bones conversation flow. Next, click the agent block to open its settings. Let's give it a name, Pet Chat Agent. And for the instructions, write this. You are a helpful assistant inside a pet-themed website. Answer user questions clearly and concisely with a friendly tone. These instructions are like teaching a puppy its name. Keep it simple, clear, and consistent. Now let's pick a model. Under the model drop-down, you'll see a list of available options, each with its own balance of speed, cost, and capability. Here's the short version. You're charged per token each time the model responds. Bigger, more advanced models cost more per message, but can handle deeper reasoning. If you want a full breakdown of how pricing works and which models fit which use case, I cover all of that in detail in my previous video. For now, I'm choosing GPT-4o Mini. It's fast, affordable, and perfect for a WordPress chatbot. That's all we need to configure for now. In the next step, we'll grab our keys, publish the workflow, and make sure everything is ready for WordPress to connect. Now that our agent is ready, let's connect the dots so WordPress can talk to it. Before anything works outside of this builder, we need to publish the workflow and grab 3 things: an API key, a domain allow list public key, And make sure there's some billing credit in your account so the requests don't get blocked. Let's start with the API key. In the top left, return to Dashboard, then select API keys in the left side menu. At the top right, click the black button that says Create a new secret key. We'll name this one Chatbot Server Key. Copy the key that starts with SK and store it somewhere safe. We'll be pasting it into WordPress in just a minute, but never share this one publicly. It's like the food bowl of your chatbot. Without it, nothing gets fed. Next, let's allow your website to talk to this agent securely. In the top right corner, click the gear icon labeled Settings. In the sidebar on the left, go to Security, then click the black Add Domain button. Enter your website's domain, or if you're testing locally, your local address. And OpenAI will generate a public key that starts with domain_pk. Copy this one too. This is safe to share on the front end and just tells OpenAI which domain is allowed to run your agent. Think of this key as the good dog list. Your agent will only talk to websites it recognizes as friendly. Now let's publish our workflow so it's no longer just a draft. Click Publish in the top right corner of the builder. A pop-up will ask for a name. Let's call this one Pet Chat Workflow. Once confirmed, you'll immediately see the workflow ID. Copy it. We'll plug it into our WordPress plugin right after this. If you accidentally close this pop-up, don't panic. You can always find it again under the Code tab at the top. Last thing before we move on, billing. Even though you can create accounts and build workflows for free, your chatbot won't work unless there's some credit on your OpenAI account. It doesn't have to be much. Even $10 is enough to get started. But without it, all your requests will quietly fail. So make sure you've added a payment method or preloaded some credit before moving over to WordPress. Alright, keys copied, workflow published, account ready. Time to hook everything into WordPress. Time to bring our chatbot into WordPress. If you're watching this after the plugin has been officially approved, the easy way is this. In your WordPress dashboard, go to Plugins, then add New and search for BitBloom OpenAI Agent. Once you find it, click Install and then Activate. But if you're watching this before it's in the WordPress plugin store, don't worry, you can still install it manually. I've put the full plugin zip file on GitHub. The link is right below this video and in the description. Here's how to install it manually step by step. First, download the zip file from GitHub. Then open your WordPress dashboard and go to Plugins. Click Add New and then hit the Upload Plugin button at the top. Select the zip file you downloaded, click Install Now, and then just like teaching a puppy to sit, the plugin only needs one click. Activate. If you're running WordPress locally, for example using local WP like I am, you can also unzip the folder manually inside your site's wp-content/plugins directory. That works the same way. Once the plugin is activated, you'll see a new menu on the left called BitBloom Agent. That's where we'll enter our workflow ID and adjust the chatbot design settings. And don't worry, we'll handle the API key in just a moment. It doesn't appear in the plugin settings on purpose, since we keep it stored safely inside the PHP config file. More on that in the next step. Open your WordPress dashboard and click BitBloom Agent in the left menu. In the settings screen, paste your workflow ID into the field labeled Workflow ID. In the next field, paste your domain public key. That's the key that starts with domain_pk, and it's safe to use it in the browser because it only tells OpenAI which domain is allowed to run your agent. If you want the chat to open with a friendly first line, add something in agent opening text. We'll style the theme and the floating button in a minute, but first, let's wire up the private API key the right way. Instead of putting your API key into any settings field, we store it safely in PHP so it never touches the browser. On your server, open your site's wp-config.php file in a code editor. Add this single line anywhere above the line that loads WordPress and replace the value with your real key. Save the file. That's it! No other PHP changes needed. Here's what happens behind the scenes now. When a visitor clicks the chat, the plugin calls a small WordPress REST endpoint on your site. That endpoint uses the server-side OpenAI_API_key to ask OpenAI for a short-lived client secret. Only that temporary client secret is sent back to the browser. Your real API key never leaves the server. It's like keeping the treats in a high cupboard. The dog gets the reward, but never learns where you hide the bag. With the workflow ID, domain public key, and the server key in place, your site is ready to talk to the agent securely. Next, we'll give the chat some style and turn on the floating launcher so it actually feels at home on the Furry Friends Finder website. Now that the agent is connected, let's make it feel like it truly belongs on the Furry Friends Finder website. In the BitBloom agent settings screen, scroll to the design section. Here you can pick the theme, light or dark, set the accent color, choose the font, enter JetBrains Mono, OpenAI Sans, LoRa or default. Adjust the corner radius, peel, round, soft or sharp, and pick the density, compact, normal or spacious. There's a live preview panel right on this page. Every change you make updates instantly, so you can see exactly how the chat will look before you save. Just below that are the floating chat button settings. Change the button text to whatever fits your vibe. Ask our pet expert works great, or keep it short with chat. Set the background and text colors to match your site. You'll see your choices reflected immediately in the preview, so no guesswork required. If you don't want the launcher on every page, you can limit it to specific pages using the shortcode. Open the editor for the page you want, add a shortcode block and paste bitbloom_OpenAI_agent. Publish or update the page. With the shortcode approach, the floating button appears only on that page and any other page where you place the shortcode. The chat panel itself still opens from the bottom right corner. Think of it like a very well-trained pup. Always sits in the same spot, just shows up only where you invite it. Finally, set a friendly greeting at the top of the settings. Something like, "Hi, ask me anything about dogs or cats." When you're happy with the look and placement, click Save Changes and refresh your site to see it live. Let's take it for a spin. Head over to the front end of your WordPress site and refresh the page. You should now see the floating Talk to AI button in the bottom right corner. Click it, and your chat panel should slide in. For this first test, we're not asking anything pet related, just a basic question like, "Hi, who are you?" or "What can you do?" If the chatbot responds smoothly, great! It means the connection to OpenAI is working, your workflow is live, and the keys all line up. But if you're not getting any response, don't panic. Here are the 3 quickest things to double check. First, make sure the API key is in the wp-config.php file actually matches the key from OpenAI. Second, confirm that the workflow ID pasted in the plugin settings is correct, no extra spaces or missing characters. And third, double check that the domain is added to the OpenAI allow list and that there is enough credit in your OpenAI billing. Without active credit, the model stays silent, like a cat ignoring your calls. Once the chatbot answers your general question, we know the pipes are connected. Now it's time to level it up and make it a true pet expert. Now that the chatbot is talking, let's make it truly useful. Head back to the OpenAI Agent Builder and click on your workflow. Select the agent block again, and this time we're going to add one extra tool, Web Search. On the right side, under Tools, click the plus sign and choose Web search. That's all it takes to give your bot access to real-time information from the internet. Now let's update the agent's instructions so it actually behaves like a pet expert. Replace the instructions with something like this. You are a friendly assistant for a pet-themed website. Answer questions clearly and concisely about dog and cat breeds, behavior, food and care. If a question isn't about pets, gently say so. Use web search when needed to provide fresh, accurate answers. Keep it simple, friendly and focused on the pet niche. You might be wondering, why use web search this time? Because it gives us live answers without us having to upload or manage files. In the previous video, I demonstrated how to use file search to load full documents like menus or PDFs into the agent. But this time, we want our chatbot to stay fresh and current, so web search is the perfect match. Hit publish again to save the changes. Now the agent knows it's a pet expert and can fetch the latest info from the web. Let's go back to WordPress and put it to the test. Alright, moment of truth. Let's switch back to our WordPress site and refresh the page. Click the floating Talk to AI button and let's see what our upgraded pet expert can do. I'll start with something simple. What kind of food is best for a senior golden retriever? Notice how the answer is direct, friendly and informed. And now, thanks to web search, it's also current. No more generic AI fluff. We're getting real-world advice. Let's try another. Is a Maine Coon cat good with kids? See how it now pulls in up-to-date info about the breed's temperament and gives a helpful answer without rambling. And just for fun, how much exercise does a Shiba Inu need daily? Again, short, clear and, dare I say, well-behaved. Our agent is no longer just a polite chatbot. It's finally earning its treats as a pet-side expert. That's really the magic formula here. Short questions, a clear topic, and let the agent handle the rest. It keeps the flow natural, like a conversation at the dog park, but with fewer tennis balls and more data. Before we wrap up, I want to give you a quick sneak peek at where this can go next, without diving into code just yet. Imagine this. Your chatbot not only answers questions about pets in general, but also recommends specific pages from your own site. For example, someone types, "Tell me about Maine Coon cats," and the agent not only gives the info, but also includes a direct link to your Maine Coon page in the catalog. All it takes is a tiny custom route in WordPress, something like wp-json/pets/list that returns your dog and cat posts as a simple JSON. Then you give the agent permission to call that route, and now it can mix external knowledge with your own content. We won't dive into that today, but if you're into the idea of turning your AI from a chat bubble into a true content guide, let me know in the comments. I might turn this into a full follow-up video. Alright, let's land this thing! In just one video, we went from a plain WordPress site with dogs, cats and zero brainpower to a smart chatbot that actually knows what it's talking about. And all that without writing a single line of code. We spun up a project in OpenAI, built a tiny workflow, grabbed our API key and workflow idea, installed a free WordPress plugin, styled our floating chat button, hooked everything up, and then gave our bot a pet expert upgrade using real-time web search. And the best part? It's all running live right inside WordPress. No coding, no hacky scripts, just clean AI magic. Now, if you enjoyed building this and you're curious what we can add next, things like having the bot pull in posts from your own website or track conversation analytics, hit that like button, subscribe and drop a comment with what you want to see in the next episode. We're just getting started, and if you want your site or your career to be ready for the AI wave that's already here, trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one!